What's up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing the PC Early Access for No Rest for the Wicked, made by Moon Studios, who did the Ori games, which I definitely think are phenomenal games. But did they nail it in this game? Let's find out. And of course, guys, if you like this type of content, enjoy these videos, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. And of course, you want to support the channel, don't forget to hit that join channel member button below. So No Rest for the Wicked is an action RPG Souls-like game that has some elements of like a Farmville as a game too in it. It's sort of a weird mix of a bunch of different genres, which I wasn't really expecting from any of the trailers of this game. But I can say something that did live up from the trailers was the absolute gorgeous game that we got to play here today. The graphics are on point. I just love the strong sense of style. I just love how everything feels like dreary and also like a bit like dank and disgusting too. And they really nail the atmosphere and the vibes of this world. And it's really fun to live in this world. And it does give you a great sense of despair, but not only through the artistic design, but also through the gameplay, because I sense a lot of despair in this game. Because this game ain't easy. This is a hard video game at the end of the day. And if you are not into Souls-likes at all, then this is not going to be the game for you. There is no baby mode. It is a brutal game. And I do think the beginning of the game is so much harder than the middle part of this game. It's sort of crazy how they really like beat your ass in the beginning of this game. To a degree that I wouldn't even compare it to even like a FromSoft game. It's sort of like in its own territory, right? So why is this game so hard? Well, it is a Souls-like, so you do have an HP bar and a stamina bar, and it's very important to keep those up, because you have no stamina, you can't attack, you can't dodge or anything like that. You also have equip weight, so you can't wear, if you wear heavy armor, you're not gonna have a good dodge and things like that. So you gotta be mindful of your weapons and your stats on the screen too. Now, I will say something I did not like was your HP bar and your stamina bar are around your player character, which is okay, I can always see them all the time. However, if you're a red-green colorblind, you will not be able to see them at all. And even that I'm not red-green colorblind, if I was, it would be terrible. But it's still hard for me to see these bars, because the sense of style of this game is so strong. It really blends into the environments, or like there's constant rain happening. And it's just sort of hard to manage my own economy there when I can't really see a lot of it. So that is definitely one big minus for me. Another reason why this game is pretty difficult, outside of like you need to manage your stamina, you can't just like wildly flail attacks and like your similar Soul stuff. You got to take your turn, go and attack at the right time. Is whenever you do die, your weapon durability and all that goes down. Now, in the beginning of the game, repair costs are free. Later in the game, it costs a certain amount of money. Something I don't like about repairing is you can only repair the things that are either equipped on you, or all your things. You can't just repair a certain item, so they definitely got to add something like that, which is definitely disappointing. But you can get into a death spiral in the early game where, oh, hey, I don't have the repair person unlocked. Well, you just have no equipment. Or, oh, the repair person's so far away, I don't have fast travel unlocked yet. Well, I guess I'm just going to take off all my armor and just run through the zone real quick and just try to get out of here as quickly as possible. So there are balancing issues like that, especially towards the beginning of this early access game, that I do have a lot of issues with. But it does alleviate when you get to that middle point in the game, when you get to the first town. Now, I will say the gameplay is cool because you do have a bunch of different weapon types, and they all have different attack combos. There's sprinting combos, dodge combos, and each weapon will have different amount of hits per your stamina bar. But also there is a rune magic system that you can use, whether you have a mage staff or you have a claymore. You can equip runes to your weapon, and they'll do different things. And different weapons will have different sets of runes, but you can mix and match by destroying a weapon, taking the rune from it, and putting it onto a different weapon. So you can have a lot of fun with that. So you want to shoot a fireball? Bam, you can do that. You want a free heal? Bam, you can put that on a weapon too. So that is great. And I definitely just love how they want you to mess around and pick up different weapons and try out your style. However, there is no way to actually respec your weapon and weapons, or respec yourself. So if you want to use different weapons, you are going to be committing to a certain build at a certain point, which is definitely disappointing. Of course, you can make another character in a different realm, but I just think that's lame. I would recommend that they would allow a respecking option in this game too. But yes, the combat is very hard, but it is very rewarding once you actually nail it. I will say regular enemies seem to be a little bit harder than the bosses I fought so far. The bosses I felt like were, you know, they do a lot of damage, but they're well balanced. It's very obvious for you to know, okay, it's my time to go in and do my combo and, you know, maybe put on like a weapon buff and just do big damage. But against regular enemies, sometimes they'll just cheese you a lot. You'll be falling off like the environment sometimes. It can be definitely discouraging, especially when you face more than one enemy. That's where I think the gameplay gets a lot more difficult. And ranged enemies, I do think, are a little bit OP at this moment. They just seem to be able to instantly hit you very quickly. And of course, like I said, sometimes it's hard to see things in this game because the visual effects are so strong that it's hard for me to see like an arrow go across the screen, which is definitely not the best. But overall, I think the gameplay is great, but it is incredibly difficult. Another thing that's interesting about this game is there is an exploring part where the level design is great. You want to explore, you get a bunch of different chests, find different enemies, you beat enemies, you get experience, which is great too. And, you know, you want to explore, get the rare loot chests and all that. And the loot is randomized. There's no set chests in the game. But the chests will actually respawn after a while. So if you want to go back and farm, go back to an area, farm, new enemies will respawn. And not even the same enemies. New enemies will respawn. And we don't know necessarily if it's tied to your level or if it's just random enemies come in. But it seems to be, it might be tied to how far you progress through the game when you revisit areas. So that is pretty cool. But yes, you can farm up like your treasure chest, all the resources that you need. But what I like about the level design is you go through the level and be like, hey, there's a locked door. Oh, okay, I found this key. I can go through this door now. Or, hey, how do I get over there? Well, I guess I can like climb up this wall, jump over there and get to this whole secret area that had its own chest or a little bit of lore. So, you know, there's a lot of a reward for exploring in this game, which I do think is quite awesome. So level design, in the aspects of this game, like the world and just the look, great, absolutely great. Now this is where the game gets a little bit weird. When you go to the first town, there's like a lot of maybe multiplayer centric aspects to it, or aspects of this game that may not just fit this genre in general. So things I have to mention, there is a thing where you can like give resources that, you know, you're sort of farming resources. Like you get a wood axe and chop down some wood, you get a pickaxe to get some ore, and you can use this to either upgrade your weapons or you can use this to upgrade the town. Now when you give it to the person who upgrades your town, it takes real life minutes or hours to actually upgrade it, which I don't know why there is that aspect. I feel like when I give it to a person, they should just upgrade it immediately, like especially because I'm playing it in a single player game. There is no multiplayer at the moment in the game, so I don't know why it takes 4 hours of real world time for me to upgrade my actual base. That's just super weird, and I think that's really anti-fun. Now there's also daily and weekly quests as well, and that's sort of like a more Diablo-esque way to have quests like that. There are real quests and real side quests as well, of course, and I thought those were pretty fun overall. But the fact that there's like dailies and weeklies is very interesting on what type of game this might be at some point in the future. They do have pretty solid rewards, and a lot of it is revisiting areas that you have, you know, you've already been to, which is pretty cool because sometimes a new enemy will be there and you get, you know, a lot of money or some rare materials, which is overall great. But it's just, it just feels like it's a little bit out of what this game should really be focusing their time and resources on. Also, I gotta say, I don't really necessarily enjoy going out and exploring this world and just like holding the triangle button and just like, you know, chopping down wood, hitting rocks, just so I can upgrade the town. I sort of feel like that should go into more of a survival game, especially where this isn't a survival game. You don't build a camp or anything like that. So it's just a little bit weird that we have these features in the game overall. I feel like this game has a lot of identity issues, but I feel like what makes this game great is, like I said, the visuals, phenomenal. Gameplay is very hard, but very rewarding at times. And, you know, it's just sort of fun to find new equipment with different stats on it and mess around, be like, okay, like I guess I'm gonna have a poison build now. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have a lightning build now. Oh, this is a cool weapon. Guess I can go to the shop, enchant it, and just make it really good. So it does have those like Diablo as pickups, which, you know, is definitely a lot of dopamine hitting the user there, and I think that's really fun. I'm very excited to see what more of the end game content actually ends up being. There is a bit of an end game right now with this like sort of endless dungeon. However, it's, you know, it's early access, and I feel like this game won't be out for another 2 or 3 years. So I would like to revisit this game once I'm done with the early access content and see how I feel in a few years. But overall, I think this is a good game. I don't think it's a great game. There's just a lot of weird issues I have right now, and there's quite a few bugs, and the performance isn't the best either. But if you are interested from the gameplay I've showed here, then I would recommend picking up this game. But for the people who don't have access to this game yet, or you want to wait, that's okay. You're very valid in waiting. I would probably give this game like a 7.5 out of 10. It's a good game. It's not great yet, but I think they're going to achieve greatness at some point in the future. So there you have it, guys. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.